episode, I learned boundaries the hard way. The top three were after a breakup, during family drama, or still learning. We've talked about family, we've talked about relationships, and now we close with the truth. Boundaries are never one and done. There's something we're all still learning. So if you've ever thought, I should have had this figured out by now, but I'm still struggling, this one is for you. And before I go deeper, let me put this into words that feel more like a heartbeat, a reminder for all of us still learning. Boundaries are not lessons you master once, they are practices you return to, like prayer, like breathing, like forgiveness. Every season asks, who will you be? What will you allow? Where will you draw the line? And sometimes we stumble. We say yes when we mean no. We let people back who have shown us who they are. We silence ourselves because we're afraid of losing love. But stumbling is not failing, it's learning. Still learning, still growing, still building the strength to honor myself. And if you're still learning, you are right where you need to be. Let me tell you why this matters to me personally. Because even after everything I've learned, I still find myself in moments where boundaries are kind of hard to hold. A little transparency, as I've been single for a while, divorced, and I've took some time off to really work on myself, to center myself, to work on boundaries, to understand a little bit about myself through this healing journey. I now feel that I'm okay to step back into the dating space, right? And so it's been very interesting, if I may say. But the interesting part is I'm more aware. I'm more aware of what it is I want in this season in my life. I'm more aware of what I like versus what I dislike, and I'm open to speaking on it. And that's not how I've always handled myself. But there are moments that I find myself staying around a little bit longer, communicating with the person that I already know that's not gonna be the one for me. And that space there is more a space like, well, let me just give the benefit of the doubt, and then I have to snap out of it. But there are moments within this space, and even as I work with some business adventures and still encounters with certain families, that I have to remain steadfast on my boundaries. I have to remain in a place to where I am respecting the peace that I desire to have in my life. I wish I could tell you that once I learned how to set boundaries, I never struggled again, but that's just not real life. It's not the truth. I'm still in my everyday. I have to work on boundaries. I have to be aware of the boundaries, and I have to be aware of the feeling that my body allows me to sense when something's out of order. Even after the family lessons, even after the heartbreak, I still find myself in moments where boundaries do feel hard, because sometimes it still feel new, because as seasons roll, there's new boundaries, there's a new me, there's something else that I need because of where I'm at in life. And I have to be okay with that. I am okay with that. There are times I've said yes out of habit. So those are those moments I have to be aware of as well. Even when everything in me was saying no, I said yes. Times I've let someone slide, not because they deserved it, but because I didn't want the weight of conflict. And there was times I had to stop and remind myself out loud, Tawanda, your peace is your responsibility. It's my responsibility. My peace is not the responsibility of someone else. So setting my boundaries to protect myself is my responsibility. And maybe you've been there too. Saying yes, hoping it would make things smoother, only to realize you've betrayed yourself in the process. Here's what I've learned. Every time I break my own boundary, it's not the end of my story. It's simply a reminder to come back home to myself. You can look at boundaries as muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they become. But muscles can also get sore. They can get tired, and they can sometimes even give out. But that doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're still working, still stretching, still growing. So when you slip up, don't call it failure. Call it training. Call it practice. Call it proof that you're still learning. You're still growing. Now let's turn this towards you, because I don't want to just share my journey. I want you to think about yours. Think about your own life. Where are you still learning boundaries? Maybe at work, where the pressure to always say yes feel heavier than the actual workload. You keep telling yourself, it's fine, I can handle it. But deep down, you're exhausted. Maybe in friendships, when you give and give, rise, money, time, energy, and rarely gets the same effort in return. So you tell yourself, that's just who I am. I'm a giver. But if giving always leaves you empty, it's not love, it's depletion. Maybe in self-care, you keep promising yourself rest. But when the time comes, you fill it with chores or strolling or doing for everyone else. You whisper, I'll get to me later. But later never comes. Whatever it is, I want you to hear me. You're not failing. You're still learning. And learning means you're paying attention. Learning means you care enough to notice. Learning means you're not giving up. So how do we walk this out? How do we keep practicing boundaries when it feels like we keep slipping? Let me give you 3 truths to hold on to. 1, every boundary will be tested. When you first set a boundary, don't be surprised when people push back. They may say you've changed or you're acting different. And the truth is, they're right. You are different. You're growing. That pushback isn't proof you're wrong. It's proof your boundary is working. And listen, sometimes the person that tests your boundary isn't even someone else. Sometimes it's you. You hear yourself say no, and then you feel guilty, tempted to undo it. That's the moment to breathe and remind yourself, my boundary is not punishment, it's protection. Number 2, boundaries require maintenance. You can't set it once and walk away. Think of your boundaries like a garden. You don't just plant a seed and leave it. You water it. You pull the weeds. You keep watch over it. Some boundaries will need reinforcement. Others may need adjustments as you grow, and that's okay. Boundaries are living things, not stone tablets. What you needed in your 20s might not be what you need now. What you needed in heartbreak may shift in healing. It's not inconsistency, it's growth. 3, grace is part of the process. Give yourself grace. You will slip up. You will say yes when you should have said no. And when that happens, the temptation is to shame yourself. I should have known better. I should have handled it differently. But here's what I want you to remember. Every stumble is a teacher. Grace says, learn the lesson, reset the boundary, and move forward. Because boundaries are not about perfection. They're about practice. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes to honor yourself. And to anchor this truth, let's breathe together and speak life over ourselves. Hand over your heart, deep breath in, hold it, and exhale. Say this with me or write it down. I am still learning, and that is okay. Every boundary I set makes me stronger. I may stumble, but I will not stay stuck. My peace is worth protecting again and again. Say it with me one more time, slower. Let it echo in your soul. I am still learning, and that's okay. Every boundary I set makes me stronger. I may stumble, but I will not stay stuck. My peace is worth protecting again and again. And now let me leave you with a word, a reminder that even in the process, you are becoming. Still learning doesn't mean I am failing. It means I am alive. It means I am trying. It means I am growing. Boundaries are not the finish line. They are the rhythm, a daily song of self-respect. Some days I sing it strong. Other days I whisper it. But the melody is mine. So I keep learning, keep building, keep choosing myself again and again, because love without boundaries is not love, and peace without practice is not peace. I am still learning. I am still healing, still becoming the woman God created me to be. And that is more than enough. As we wrap up this series, I want to remind you, you don't have to walk this journey alone. If you're ready to practice boundaries in your daily life, I've created 2 resources for you. The self-care bundle, filled with affirmations and journaling prompts to help you protect your peace daily. And a 5-day mentorship experience where I personally walk with you step by step through resetting your boundaries and building confidence within them. You'll find the links in the show notes. This concludes our boundary series, family, relationships, and the lifelong journey of still learning. If this series spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to know that they're not failing. They are simply still learning. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, stay true to you, and have an amazing